What is going on, everybody? It is Mike Charlip once again coming at you on my website, MikeJC on Wrestling.com. And this is going to be, I guess, my official, first episode, I guess, of whatever this is. I don't know if it's a podcast or just an audio blog. I guess it's just an audio blog. But today, I'm going to break down the Wrestlemania card because this weekend is Wrestlemania. Wrestlemania, apparently too big for one night, as WWE has been telling us over and over and over again for weeks now. And yes, the first time WrestleMania is gonna not only be 2 nights, but it's gonna be without a crowd. And as we all know, it's because of the circumstances going on in the world right now. So it's going to be very interesting. There's a lot of matches I'm looking forward to, and then there's a few matches that I could care less about. So we're going to break down all these matches, and yeah, we'll go from there. I'll give my thoughts on the builds, or lack thereof, to some of these matches, and yeah. So let's get it kicked off here with the first match, and no particular order. First match, Otis versus Dolph Ziggler. This match has been building for a while. The story has actually been very well told. The whole Otis, falling for Mandy, and Mandy kind of falling for Otis, and then they were supposed to go on a date together, and Otis didn't show up on time because he got a note that he was supposed to be there at a specific time, and then Dolph Ziggler showed up. It's very obvious that something was going on there. Dolph Ziggler is, obviously behind this whole deal, and rumors of Sonya possibly being involved in it as well, like some kind of plan to keep Otis and Mandy from being together. I don't know, but I think I'm just gonna go out, just say right here, right now, that I think everything that happens at Mania is going to be conclusive and not to build to something in the future, because right now we don't know if there will be a future for the time being. So I think that the best case scenario here would be for Otis to win. Otis gets the win, and somehow it's revealed that something happened between Ziggler and Sonya, trying to keep them from being together or something like that. I'm not a big fan of these kinds of storylines. It is what it is, but yeah, so I think Otis will get the victory. So on to the next match. And again, we all know that all these matches have been taped ahead of time, so we don't know, what anything could happen. WWE supposedly taped different results for each match just so that spoilers would not get out there, which is a good idea. So going on to the next match, and I heard reports that this match ended up not getting taped, but if it did, I'm just going to talk about it anyway. It's the Kabuki Warriors defending the women's tag titles against Nikki Cross and Alexa Bliss. And they've kind of been building to this for a couple of weeks now. There was rumors for a while that Beth Phoenix and Natalya would also be involved, but I guess they nixed that with the whole Edge thing, with Beth Phoenix getting attacked by Orton and everything like that. So, I mean, this is kind of just another match. I don't expect Alexa and Nikki to win, but anything could happen. I literally just read a report minutes ago before recording that that Asuka was being quarantined because she was not feeling well. And again, I heard reports that match possibly was not recorded. So if it happens, it happens. But if not, then obviously there's no match. But if it does happen, if it did happen, then I'm picking Asuka and Kairi to retain. I think the best case scenario would be to finally put some real focus on the tag division once we finally get back to normal with everything. And Kairi and Asuka have to be dominant in the division. Actually, face more tag teams, including NXT. Build up some tag teams in this women's division because there's really nothing going on there. So, yeah, I don't see Asuka and Kairi losing at this point. Just get them a big win and move on. So moving on from that, the next match I'm going to talk about is Sami Zayn defending the Intercontinental title against Daniel Bryan. I am super excited about this match. I've actually enjoyed the build to it. I thought that this whole deal with Drew Gulak, where Daniel Bryan and Gulak had a great match together, and they kind of like built up a respect for each other to the point where Daniel was asking Drew for pointers on what to do in his matches. I kind of like that. I like the budding friendship there. I've liked the story of like Sami like being upset that Daniel Bryan turned down to be in his group, and he went with Drew Gulak, who he considers a quote-unquote nobody just because he hasn't done anything except win the Cruiserweight title. Drew Gulak is a very good performer, a very good worker, a very good wrestler, and I think that this is going to be a good way to get him some spotlight, but being in Daniel's corner and everything. As for the match, I don't think that Bryan's going to win here. There's rumors running wild for a little bit that Bryan is taking a break in the spring/summer. Even though, like, again, I think everybody's going to be taking a break for a while, but there's rumors that Bryan's taking a break after everything is back to normal. So I don't know if there'll be shenanigans in this match, if Shinsuke will get involved or whatever, but I expect it to be a very good match. Sami Zayn is finally, doing something. He finally has a title on the main roster, and I'm very happy for him. I think this will be a good match, but with Sami retaining. So going on to the next match, and there's no particular order, obviously. We never know the order of the matches, so I'm just going by the way I see them on the list I'm looking at now. The next match, and possibly the best story from anything going into Mania, is Edge versus Randy Orton in a last man standing match. And I've loved the story behind this match. Everything about this match has been great. Everything building to this match has been great. Randy Orton saying that he cares about Edge. He cares about Edge's family, and that Beth Phoenix was enabling him to wrestle again, even though he was gone for 9 years and he doesn't want Edge to get hurt again. And Edge saying that Orton was, jealous that Edge was back and better than ever, and Randy Orton always needed Edge to reach his potential and all that. I love the story. I love the build. I even loved when Orton attacked Beth. I thought it created more emotion. And as I said before, this is the best match that has been built up going into this Mania. And to me, feels like a main event. And it's gonna be good. It's gonna be good. And I'm really looking forward to this match. I think that Edge is going to win. You can't have Edge lose this match. The whole entire build of this match has been that Randy Orton wants Edge to not to hurt himself, which is kind of weird. But the whole point is Randy Orton wants Edge to go home and be with his family, blah blah blah. But I think that Edge will win, and we'll see more of him down the line when the time is right. But again, it's going to be a great match. On to the next match, and this is the one match out of every match that I could care the least about. It's Elias versus Baron Corbin. There is literally no reason for this match other than Baron Corbin interrupted Rob Gronkowski, of all people, on SmackDown, made some, comments about him coming to WWE as a football player, even though that's the whole reason, that's Baron Corbin's thing. And Mojo Rawley was there, and it was just so stupid. And for weeks, Elias has been making songs about Corbin, and Corbin hates that. And that's literally it. That's this match. Recently, they fought each other when Elias was singing on a scaffold, and Baron Corbin attacked him from behind when Elias, for some stupid reason, pandered to a crowd that was not there and got attacked from behind. This made Elias look very dumb. This made Elias look like a stupid idiot, and I hated it so much. And I really don't like what they're doing with either of these guys, to be honest. Elias is very good in the ring, and his character literally has no future. There is no future for him if this is his character forever. I never liked singing gimmicks. Singing gimmicks had never worked. They continue not to work. And this is going nowhere. He needs to change it up. Whether he's a heel or a face, it doesn't matter, but this is not working. And Baron Corbin, as we all know, has been doing this really dumb King gimmick that nobody likes, but Vince McMahon knows that we don't like it, so he continues to do it. That's the biggest problem with this Corbin thing. Everything that we dislike, and we don't dislike it because he's a heel, we dislike it because it's bad, just continues, and it needs to stop. So I think Corbin is going to win this match. It's going to probably come down to shenanigans at some point, but I don't see Elias winning this match unless there's some kind of thing where Elias isn't even in the match, in which case it ends up being like he faces Mojo Rawley and Rob Gronkowski gets involved. Then Mojo Rawley will win. It'll be very stupid and not worth seeing, but if that's what happens, then okay. I've talked about this for way too long already, so I'm gonna move on. The next match I'm gonna talk about is another match with absolutely zero build, and it was kind of just thrown on the card for no reason, I guess just to get Aleister Black on the card. It's Aleister Black versus Bobby Lashley. There's really nothing to say about this, at all. Aleister should win, and he should win quickly. And if it's longer than 3 minutes, I'd be very, very surprised. Lashley has been off TV for what seems like for a while, because there was a time where we could not see him. And he hasn't been seen in a while, and there's really no reason for him to win. He's not the one being built up right now. Aleister is. So, yeah, Alistair should win quickly, move on to something else. I don't understand why they didn't include him in the AJ Undertaker deal. I think that would have been better than what he's doing here. But yeah, Alistair wins. Not much else to say about it. Next match, and this is another match that was just randomly thrown together and changed a few times, and I think I know the reason why. It's the Street Profits defending the Raw Tag Team Championships against the team of Angel Garza and Austin Theory, because for some reason Andrade is out again. They're saying it's an injury, but I don't think it's an injury. And the replacement that they picked was Austin Theory, when they could have easily turned Humberto Carrillo here. And I don't understand why they didn't do that. But regardless, whatever you heard or whatever about Andrade or Rey Mysterio, things changed, blah blah blah. This was supposed to be AOP versus Street Profits, but I'm sure of it. And unfortunately, I believe Razor got hurt again, so we're not going to be seeing AOP for a long time again, which is very unfortunate, but it's the way it is. So this match it's really a nothing match. I'm sure it's going to be a good match, but there's no reason to be excited about it. Angel Garza is great, and I think it's a very bright future. I think it's too soon for Austin Theory to be in a role like this. And it's very possible that he was the best that they had at the time to set up this match, because they had to have a tag title match. But this isn't it. This could have been Cedric and Ricochet, and it could have been a great match. And instead it's this, and again, I'm sure it could be a fine match. Austin Theory is actually pretty good for how young and how kind of inexperienced he is already, but he hasn't really done enough in NXT to be here in this position. So either way, the Street Profits are gonna win, and I guess they just put this together very last minute, and hopefully it's not a bad match. But really, nothing there to be like, oh, I'm excited about this one. So going on to the next one, the next match. Now, this, again, from reports that I've heard, read, whatever, was supposed to be a triple threat ladder match. The Miz and John Morrison defending the SmackDown Tag Team titles against the New Day, Big E and Kofi, and the Usos in a triple threat ladder match. But apparently that didn't happen, and apparently what did happen was John Morrison in a one-on-one match with one of the Usos. We don't know which Uso it is. It could be either one of them. For all we know, they could have recorded 2 matches with each one. Who knows? But I understand the whole, like, the tag champs, one of them is not available, so let's have a singles match. But then why was the New Day just taken out? Why didn't they have a triple threat? Either way, I think it's just a singles ladder match now. Morrison versus one of the Usos, in which case I think Morrison will win. Doesn't make much sense to do a change here when none of the partners are involved and the New Day were just pushed aside. Yeah, I don't get it. So, yeah, Morrison retains. I mean, it might be a good match. Morrison and one of the Usos in a singles match is not a bad idea. But, yeah, I guess we'll see what happens. Moving on to the next match. Kevin Owens versus Seth Rollins. And Seth Rollins, for as long as he's been a single star, has had great matches at WrestleMania, and I think that's going to continue. These two work very well together. This rivalry's been going on for a very long time, and unfortunately it's resulted in a lot of multi-man matches that just took up way too much time, and we just get repeats of the same matches week after week after week. It was Owens and the War Raiders versus the AOP and Rollins, or Rollins and Buddy Murphy versus two of those people, or it was just over and over and over again. But I love the way that this feud between these two guys has gotten kind of personal over, like, you know, Rollins wasn't in the Performance Center for very long. He was in FCW before the Performance Center was even a thing, and then he went to the main roster and felt, even before he went to the main roster, felt entitled. And Rollins, pointed out that he didn't need NXT to get where he is, and claiming that Owens did, and Owens pointing out the fact that both of them needed help to get to points in their careers, but Rollins not admitting that he needed help. I love the personal stuff that they're talking about, and I think it's going to be a great match that Owens absolutely should win. They give Rollins usually has big matches every year, and every year he somehow comes out a victor in something. I think it's time for Owens to get his time in the sun again and get a big victory. And I think once we get back, there will be a number one contender situation that Rollins will probably win. But regardless, I think this is a good first step in getting Kevin Owens back to where he should have been a long time ago. So again, it'll be a great match, and I'm actually looking forward to that one a lot. So the next match, and this is not going to be a good one for me to talk about. It's The Undertaker versus AJ Styles. Now, I'm not upset about the match happening. I'm upset I don't know what the match is. It's called a Boneyard match. I don't know what that is. Nobody knows what that is. Everybody's assuming it's a Buried Alive match with a quote-unquote nicer name. I don't know what that is. But my problem with this, and anybody who knows me knows that I love both of these guys. Undertaker is my favorite wrestler ever, and AJ Styles is, he's amazing, and he's one of the best wrestlers of the last decade, for sure. But this is not the story or the match that I want for these two. Honestly, as much as I love The Undertaker, I could have did without him on WrestleMania. The feud itself, I have not liked it at all. It really hasn't made much sense to me. The feud started when AJ Styles was in a pointless tournament at a Saudi Arabia show for a stupid prize that meant nothing, a trophy that resulted in nothing, and Undertaker made a surprise appearance in that match and won it. And then the feud continued when AJ Styles had a match with Aleister Black at the most recent pay-per-view and lost because The Undertaker interfered. And AJ's answer to both of those attacks was to get personal. And it just doesn't make sense to me. It's not like he cost him a championship or cost him a shot at a championship. He cost him a match for a stupid trophy, and cost him a match against a guy that apparently was just, the feud was over. And it resulted in nothing. The winner didn't get anything, so why was he mad? He mad just because he lost 2 matches? I didn't think that those were good enough reasons to be as upset as he was. So for him to get personal in the feud, going with the realism and calling him by his real name and talking about his wife, which doesn't make sense to me at all, considering that he hated when Samoa Joe did that to him. But I get it, AJ's a heel now, so he doesn't remember what happened when he was a face. I hate this storyline. I hate it. It is so bad. And don't even get me started on that promo that Undertaker did last week. Trying to do the exact same thing, calling AJ Allen Jones and saying that AJ couldn't cut it in WWE when guys like The Rock and Chris Jericho and Booker T and Edge were on top. When that isn't true. He just didn't go there. He tried out for WWE in 2000 and didn't make it because WWE didn't, quote unquote, see anything in him. And then he made his career bigger than it ever could be in Japan. So for Undertaker to make that point is just stupid to me. And then saying that his wife, who has not wrestled full time since 2011, did AJ's move better than he did, and he was jealous, when that isn't true. She was horrible at that move. So making that point is just dumb. That entire promo was pointless and not the Undertaker that I care to see. This entire feud has just been ridiculous. And obviously I'm going to watch it, and I'm going to, if the match is good, the match is good. But I've hated this storyline. Hated it. And I think that AJ's going to win because, again, there's really no reason for Taker to win here. There's really no reason for Taker to even be on the show. But, yeah, AJ's going to win. He should win. But, the way WWE books things with feuds like this, AJ started the personal crap, so Undertaker has to win. I hope that's not the case, but we'll see what happens. I think AJ's going to win, though. He should win, but probably won't. So, going on to the next match that I have here, that is the SmackDown Women's Championship, defended in a fatal 5-way match. Elimination rules, with Bayley defending against Lacey Evans, Naomi, Sasha Banks, and of all people, Tamina. Tamina has had one match on TV in a year. She's been hurt a lot. She was in the Royal Rumble, and that's it. Before that, she was hurt for a very long time. So for her to be in this match is ridiculous to me. Now, I understand that there's probably other people that were supposed to be in this match that couldn't be in this match, and that's unfortunate. Dana Brooke was supposed to be in there. I'm sure Carmella was supposed to be in there, but heard that she's sick during this whole thing that's going on. So I guess they just decided to put other people in there, see what happens. I don't like it. I think this should have just been Sasha versus Bayley. They could have built it up that they were going to stay friends no matter what and have a good match because they're friends, blah, blah, blah. But nevertheless, I think that Sasha and Bayley should absolutely team up and eliminate everyone until it's down to just them. And then Sasha will get a surprise win after they have an actual match with just the two of them. And then when Sasha wins, Bayley will be upset, but she'll congratulate her, but then the jealousy will start. Now, I realize that I said earlier that I don't know if they're going to be building the storylines, which I think this one could be dragged out. We don't know what's going to be happening in the next couple of weeks, months, whatever. This one could be dragged out. Sasha should win, and Bayley should be prepared to turn on her when the time is right, because they've done the Sasha turns on Bayley thing. It's time for Bayley to turn on Sasha, and I think that'll be a good story to build to, I guess, SummerSlam, because where else are they going to build it? So moving on to the next match is one match that I am very concerned about. It's John Cena versus Bray Wyatt, and whatever a Funhouse match is, a Firefly Funhouse match. Now, I assume it's going to be similar to the match that he had with Randy Orton, with the I forget what they called it, but very like similar to Final Deletion or whatever. And I guess that's fine. This doesn't need to be a wrestling match, but Bray Wyatt absolutely has to win. I didn't think it was cool the way they took the belt off him, and they've really been hurting him the past couple of weeks, months. Really, it started in October with that bad Hell in a Cell match. But, yeah, they built him up for a while, and then just drove him down, and down, and down. And losing to Goldberg after he, overcame against everybody else was ridiculous to me. And I'll get into my feelings about Goldberg later, but this match, hopefully it isn't bad. Hopefully it's as good as it can be, but Bray Wyatt needs to win. And if John Cena wins, you might as well just throw Bray Wyatt away. Throw away the character altogether, because there's no saving him after that. The next match that I'm going to talk about is Becky Lynch defending the Raw Women's Championship against Shayna Baszler. Now, people are going to probably not like this, but I think Becky's going to win. And the reason I say that is because it's very eerie to me. Not eerie, it's very similar to how they book Becky usually. They usually put her against somebody that they think she's going to have a tough time with. She goes into the match and they think that she's gonna lose, blah blah blah, and she overcomes. And I don't think that this is what they expected with Shayna. I don't know. It just seems weird to me that this story was kind of built the way that it was. I think it'll be a good match, because Shayna can have good matches when she's with the right person, obviously, and I think Becky knows how to do that with pretty much anybody except Lacey Evans. I think that it'll be back and forth, and there will be a lot of like, oh, I think Shayna's gonna win, she's gonna get the tap out, and Becky's gonna overcome again, which people might not like. They might think that that'll hurt Shayna, but Shayna has plenty of time to get more. I don't want to say more time in the ring, because she's good, but to get more time to build up her character. And I think that they are saving Shayna winning the belt for something else. And I don't know if it's going to be a Ronda return or it's going to be something else. But I don't think that it's time for Becky to lose it just yet. People are going to think I'm crazy because she's held it for a year already. But I just don't think it's the right time to put it on Shayna. Especially since there aren't a lot of faces that are built up on Raw. So, yeah, that's what I think about that. So, going on to the next match. And, oh boy. You know what? No, I'll save that for last. The next match I'll talk about is for the NXT Women's Championship. Rhea Ripley versus Charlotte. And, there's no result other than Rhea Ripley winning. She has to win. I understand that it would be big for NXT if Charlotte won and it might bring eyes to the show or whatever, but Rhea needs to win because they spent all this time building up Rhea to be this dominant force and then going to this storyline making it seem like she's fighting from behind because she's facing Charlotte and hurting her in the process. She needs to win this match. She needs to prove that she can beat Charlotte when there isn't, like a triple threat or something, and like a surprise victory. She needs to beat her clean. She needs to beat her precisely. She needs to beat her with her finisher, and I hope that it's a very good match. I don't know because I never seen them work one-on-one, so I think it'll be good. But Charlotte should not win. She does not need to win. Rhea does. Rhea needs to win here and then prove that she's dominant to beat Charlotte and then build somebody up to beat her down the line in NXT. And that's it. I can't see Charlotte winning this match. She shouldn't win this match. Rhea needs to prove that she could beat her because she asked for this match. If Rhea was the one who challenged Charlotte. So if Rhea loses, that makes her look stupid. And she should not lose. So moving on from that, the next match. The match that, I'm going to say it, the match that will make or break this entire show for me. Drew McIntyre versus Brock Lesnar for the WWE Championship. If Drew loses this match, this Mania is a failure to me. This entire show is a failure if Drew loses. Because they built this match to where Brock is, not prepared for Drew McIntyre, or saying that, like, Drew McIntyre caught him by surprise, and that Paul Heyman is saying that Drew McIntyre is just going to be another statistic on the Brock Lesnar train of people that he's beaten, blah blah blah. Drew needs to win because Drew not only deserves to win, but because I cannot deal with having a part-time champion anymore. I am done with it. I never, ever, and I say this all the time, and then I get proven wrong again, I never, ever want to see Brock Lesnar or any part-timer hold a championship ever again. And I will say that until I am blue in the face and until it happens. Part-timers should not be champions because when that happens, the belt is off TV. And I hate that. Have the belt on TV, actually care, and actually have something for people to fight for. Because when you don't have a champion on TV and you already have an Intercontinental feud going on, then there's really no reason to care about everything else that's happening on Raw. Because you don't give me a reason to care about everything else that's happening on Raw. They should want to be champion. If the champion's not around, how are they supposed to fight for it? And Drew deserves this. Drew has worked very hard to get here. Drew is over like he's never been in his entire career. The fans are behind him. The match should be good because Brock Lesnar is into it. And Drew needs to win. I'll say it again. Drew needs to win. There is no acceptable result except Drew winning. And I could totally see Vince McMahon being like, oh, it's not the real coronation we want for Drew because the crowd's not going to see it and there's not going to be an explosion when he wins. I don't care. I thought about it. I don't care. I need Drew to win. We need Drew to win. And he deserves to win. So moving on from that, the one match that I am not happy about at all, for multiple reasons, it's Goldberg defending the Universal Championship. And most people probably know this by now. Roman Reigns is not the opponent. It is Braun Strowman. Now, I don't like the prospect of Braun Strowman being in this match at all, considering that he's done nothing in the past couple of months except a very short Intercontinental title reign where he lost it in a 3-on-1 match and then didn't get a rematch. But if it gets the title off of Goldberg, I'm okay with Braun winning, because Goldberg shouldn't be the champion in the first place. Goldberg should never be champion ever again. I don't even want to see Goldberg on TV, because Goldberg is not worth it to me. I get it. WWE and Vince McMahon especially loves having these part-timers around to get people to watch. I don't care about Goldberg. I've never cared about Goldberg. Goldberg is unnecessary to me. He's already in the Hall of Fame. He's already done, I guess, enough to be there. He doesn't need to be around anymore. I'm tired of him. I'm tired of Brock Lesnar. I'm tired of guys like them who show up and just want the payday. I'm tired of it. And I'm tired of those people winning titles, like I said before. I am done with it. I'm done with Goldberg. I'm done with... If I never saw Goldberg ever again, it would never bother me. And I don't care how that sounds. Goldberg is not needed. He's especially not needed on this card. He shouldn't have been on it in the first place. He shouldn't have ever been in a title picture in the first place. Because, again, they're hurting their championships by having these guys who just show up and they're like, oh, you know what I want? I want a championship match. Why is Goldberg getting a championship match at all? He didn't earn it. He did nothing to deserve it. I don't care that he's already a Hall of Famer. That doesn't mean he can just get title matches. It's stupid. You got all these guys that are killing themselves for the fans, and then you just give Goldberg a championship and hurt the Fiend in the process? It's stupid. It's stupid. And I never, ever want Goldberg to be champion again. I never want to see him on my screen ever again. Now, I don't know the person Bill Goldberg. I've never met him. But I don't need Bill Goldberg in my pay-per-views on any of my wrestling shows. I don't need Bill Goldberg. So, if Braun Strowman is the guy, then Braun Strowman is the guy. And that's fine. If they're going to build him up again, that's okay. I'm fine with that. But Braun Strowman needs to actually be a champion. And stop this all the time just doing the same crap over and over and over and over again, where he just mows people down and does a power slam and that's it. That's not exciting. That, I get it, he's a big guy, he's a monster, I get it, but that isn't exciting. It stopped being exciting after like the first year that he was doing all of that. Now I get it, Braun versus Roman is a much better feud than Roman versus Goldberg, because any feud that involves Goldberg is not exciting anymore. And I fear for the lives of the people that are in the matches with Goldberg these days. We all saw the Taker match. We all saw how Taker almost got killed against Goldberg. So if Braun's the guy, he needs to change it up. And change it up for the better. And I hope that he does. And we've seen in the past when WWE has to pivot like this in a big match, they usually give it to the guy that they switch in there. They do that a lot. We've seen them do that a lot. So I think Braun might win. And again, I'm okay with that because it's not Goldberg. And it's simple as that. So those are all the matches. Again, we don't know what day they're all going to be on, because again, this Mania is too big for one night, because that's what WWE has to tell us, and Vince McMahon will throw that down your throat until you can't feel anymore. But not acknowledging the reason why this is happening is really annoying. And Triple H going on TV and saying that we're putting on a show because we want to put smiles on faces is the biggest load of crap I ever heard. We all know that they're still putting this show on for the money, for the pay-per-view buys, for the network numbers. That's a fact. We're not stupid. We know that. They're not doing this to put smiles on faces. That's the biggest Vince McMahon answer I ever heard. And it's stupid. And he knows that it's stupid. But it is what it is. Again, some of these matches probably not going to be good. Some of these matches are very pointless. But the ones that are going to be good, the ones that should be good, are the reason that it's still WrestleMania to me. And even though those matches that might not be good are there and shouldn't be or whatever, we'll see what happens. It's WrestleMania. It's still WrestleMania. So we're all gonna watch it. We're all gonna see what happens. And since it's the first time that WrestleMania has ever been in an empty arena, and the first time that WrestleMania has ever been pre-recorded, this is gonna be very interesting. It's gonna be a very interesting show, and I hope that you all enjoy it. I hope that I enjoy it, honestly. But regardless, thanks for listening, guys. And you can follow me on Twitter at MikeJC821. Continue to follow the blog. I will probably continue to write stuff. I just haven't had the drive to write stuff recently, unfortunately, with everything that's going on. And I also have to find it. But this is, I like doing this when I can. Again, I don't know what to call this. I don't know if it's a podcast, it's an audio blog. I guess it's an audio blog. But nevertheless, I've been Mike Charlip. This has been my second audio blog. Technically the first, because the first one was episode 0, whatever. So thanks for listening. Look out for more of these. Continue to support wrestling in general, because we don't know what's going to happen after WrestleMania. After WrestleMania, we could have no new episodes of Raw, no new episodes of SmackDown, no new episodes of NXT. We don't know what's going to happen. So I guess just try to enjoy what we have for now until this whole ordeal blows over. And thanks for listening.